I don't know what to say. It's been real, fam. It's been real. If you came into this fandom thinking that there'd be rest or that there'd be a break, you thought. Like, it's always one thing after another thing. And here's the thing, guys, whenever we get something good that happens in the fandom, we always get shit after. So basically, even though I have a lot of topics to talk about today, I think I'm just gonna narrow it down to a couple topics. You know, the important ones, recent stuff that's happened, what happened last night. So yeah, here's the latest news that's been happening in the past 24 hours. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is Louis' recent media activity, and that's on Twitter and Instagram. So first we get this tweet that says #update, Louis liked this tweet, and it says Louis might be creeping right now. So that tweet should have been an indication to us that, yeah, Louis is on Twitter and he's looking at stuff we say. Louis knows that we know. Okay, so basically last night, Louis tweeted always, and I need a moment. That fucked me up enough. But then after that, he typed you on Instagram. So most of you probably already know this because it was trending at #2 on Twitter. Like, even if Louis just tweeted always, that would have just killed me on its own. But the fact that he had to go on Instagram after and write you, like forming that sentence, always you, I can't. I've been saying I can't on this channel so much. Like, I can't anymore. There's no more to can't. I can't canting. That didn't make sense. But you know what? Nothing in this fandom makes sense, so it doesn't really matter. So before we go into talking about all the analysis and theories about the tweet and the Instagram post, let's just talk about the Instagram post. So after Louis typed always and, you know, killed us all, he then killed us all again by posting this on Instagram. So as I said, the caption says you, like just you. And if you look at this picture, obviously it's in black and white, so I mean people are thinking it's like a Harry Styles theme because that's Harry's thing. But if you guys also look at the picture, it looks like Louis been crying. His eyes are obviously watery. It looks like he hasn't gotten sleep because his eyes are a little puffy, and I think that's why Louis might have done the black and white filter, because black and white hides a lot of detail, as we know in this fandom with all the Freddy pics. But yeah, I don't know, Louis just doesn't really look that happy in the picture. Like, I'm not saying he looks really sad, he almost just looks neutral, but his eyes say it all. And as people say, the eyes are the gateway to the soul. Or maybe it's the window to the soul, I don't fucking know, but you can tell a lot of emotion by the eyes. So now on to the theories. So a lot of people are thinking that the always tweet and the you post was for Louis' mom, or maybe it was for Louis' new song coming up. Louis did say that he's going to be coming out with a new single, but we don't know what it's called. So before I read all the theories, here's my take on it. I don't think it's about Louis' mom, because if it was about his mom, he would have posted like a picture of her in his tweet or in his Instagram post. Also, not even that, I think he would have made his caption a little bit more about his mom. I don't think he would have wrote always you. Always you sounds a little bit more romantic. It doesn't really sound like a post you'd write about someone who passed. And also, I think if it was about his mom, he would have put always and you in the same post. He wouldn't have put one on Twitter and one on Instagram. And same thing goes for if he was talking about a new single. I think if Louis was talking about a new song called Always You or You Always, he would have just put both the words in the same post, and he probably would do more promo. Steve Aoki might be talking about it, I don't know. Louis typing always on Twitter and you on Instagram with that type of selfie, that is not something that you would do for your past mother or for a new single. It's just not the right type of post for that. But you know what makes more sense? The always in my heart tweet. Louis typing always and then you, that sounds like another continuation of the always in my heart tweet. And let me specify. So basically, as you guys know, in 2011, Louis typed always in my heart at Harry Styles, yours sincerely, Louis Tomlinson, which made us just die. Unfortunately, I wasn't around at that time in the fandom, but everybody should know it by now. And that tweet is the second most retweeted tweet in history. Anyway, Louis tweeted that on October 2nd, 2011, before all the Eleanor bullshit happened. It was basically Louis reminding Harry and us that, you know, Harry will always be his, he was his first, blah blah blah. Just some sweet gay shit. Fast forwarding to 2017, aka yesterday, Louis typed always and then you, and this is all before Eleanor 2.0. Because if you guys didn't know, I've actually said it in my last video, it looks like Eleanor is coming back, unfortunately. And guys, even if you aren't a Larry, it's kind of dumb and ignorant to think that Louis would be getting back with Eleanor. Let's just say Louis was really with Danielle, and let's just say that Freddie is really his son. I don't really care what you guys believe at this point. If all that is true, why would he go back with his ex if he literally just broke up with Danielle and has this whole baby situation with Brianna? Louis' life is just really confusing, and to my knowledge, I thought Louis was just trying to focus on the music. He's going to be coming out with more music. I doubt he'd be chasing Eleanor again, like for a romantic relationship. They're done. I don't think they had anything really in common besides Starbucks. And yeah, you can argue that Louis and Eleanor have been hanging out recently. Fine, if they have been hanging out, it's probably just a friendship. So guys, do you understand the timeline? Louis typing always and you last night is basically trying to reassure us that him and Harry are still going strong. Even if I wasn't a Larry shipper, I would still think that his posts from last night were related to like the always in my heart tweet or Harry or something. Like, I really don't think this is us being biased. If anything, this is Louis' team of people trying to be desperate. So guys, if we get any Eleanor bullshit this week, then you'll know why Louis typed always and you last night. All the puzzle pieces will go together. As I said before, Louis knows that we know. So I'm pretty sure Louis is trying to warn us about all the bullshit that's gonna happen in a few days, if it even does. I mean, look, this is not intentional. Louis never posts stuff like this. Harry is the one who posts random bullshit on Twitter, and we're like, what the fuck does that mean? That's what Harry does. Louis never just posts random tweets or random Instagram things that we have to figure out. So the fact that Louis posted these things, it actually is a big deal because he never does this stuff. He did this on purpose because he knows we're watching. And also just the fact that Louis' 28 tattoo was standing out in the photo, that was also intentional. He didn't have to put his hand like right here. But if you guys look at Louis' black and white Instagram photo, you can clearly see a lamp in the back of him, and then there's like a framed photo above it. And then someone showed this picture of Harry in comparison, and you can see a similar lamp behind Harry and the picture frames. To also confirm that it might be the same room, Louis posted a video about a week ago saying how he's thankful for winning a Brit, and you can see behind him there is this brick wall with some lighting. And if we go back to this picture of Harry, you can see the brick wall in the back with the same lighting. So do you guys think it's the same room? Because it looks like the same room to me based off of these posts. I mean, look, you guys can just say it's a coincidence, but why are we always getting coincidences? At this point, you kind of gotta question a little bit more. And now on to the history music video hug. Okay, so fucking Ben Winston was teasing us this whole time, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna release the hug, you know, the one at the end of the history music video. And we were so excited because we never got to see that. If you guys remember, at the end of the history music video, we just saw the boys walk away from each other. They just split. So then he released the raw footage, and even though it was really cute, it was all the boys coming back together, they all ran together, it wasn't a hug. And Ben Winston tried to deny that, like, oh, I never said it was a hug. Bitch, it's 2017. People can screenshot. So before I go into all that bullshit, here is the alternate ending that got released for the history music video. So yeah, that was still really cute, but it wasn't a hug. So looking at what Ben Winston tweeted before, he said, if Brit One Direction wins, Gabe Turner has to release the hug. Happy to release the footage for fans, but A, it's not a hug, it's them running together, and B, it will be underwhelming. And Ben Winston says that's true. In fact, we said that in the first interview about it. And it says now he's blaming the fans for misconstruing it. This says, like 2 months ago, Ben Winston said in an interview that originally the history music video had an ending with them coming back and hugging. Then last week, he promised us the hug video if we vote for 1D in the Brits. We did, and now he's saying that there's no hug, and he never said there was one. Ben Winston says there's an 024 hug waiting to be released if we win the award. 1D wins the fan-voted Brit Award. Gabe says, hug? What hug? And Ben Winston says, there's no hug, never said that. And now he's acting like we all got a collective fever dream and saying we already knew it wasn't a hug. Just another day in the One Direction fandom where fans are first made to be hyped up and then shamed for it. And it says, I'm glad to see my boys, but I think I need to teach Ben Winston what a fucking hug is. Yeah, if you guys remember the last concert of the Ultra Tour, all of them hugged. That is what a hug is, especially if you look at the Larry hug. People do this a lot in our fandom. They will hype us up and then they'll just blame us after for getting excited, when they were the ones who made that happen. Ben Winston, if you're gonna tell a huge fandom like the One Direction fandom that you're going to release a hug, it better damn well be a hug. You can't mess with the One Direction fandom. And that's not me trying to sound badass, it's just factual. And now onto my last topic, Harry's music. So last night was the Oscars and we actually got people talking about Harry. And no, they weren't talking about his music, obviously, because it's the Oscars, but they were talking about Harry in his acting role.
Because that's the kind of film you expect to be competing in the Oscars next year.
And maybe Harry Styles from One Direction as Best Supporting Actor, because he makes his debut in that film. Whereas the rest of One Direction have decided to pursue solo careers, he has gone in the acting route. And so it'll be very interesting to see if, we'll get an acting nomination for that. But yes, the early favourite to be the La La Land of next year is Dunkirk.
And Paul works on it.
So we'll see you again next year, Paul.
Hope so.
Have you seen any dailies or the film, sort of the sections of the film?
Little bits of it, little tips. But I think it's going to be. I can't say too much, but I think it's going to be a good movie. It's got a good feeling. Harry was amazing in it. Harry Styles.
Did you blow him up in a really horrible way?
No, we usually do.
At first I thought they meant Harry would be winning an Oscar that night, like yesterday, but then I read 2018. Yo, there's no doubt in my mind that Harry could win an Oscar. And this update tweet says, there's a rumor that Harry's in San Francisco with his managers to meet with Apple Music at their headquarters. Obviously that means that Harry's writing music, making an album, and these next posts even confirm that as well. So an interviewer was talking to Ed Sheeran and said, I've heard on the grapevine that you've heard Harry Styles' album. And Ed Sheeran says, oh yeah, I've heard a little bit of it. It really shows him off as an artist and as a singer, which is like, it is what it was always gonna be. I can't say too much about it because it's his project. I have no idea when it's coming out. I know he's got his film coming out as well. It's quality. And just the fact that Ed Sheeran's saying it's quality, you know it's gonna be good. Styles has crafted a set that recalls the regal high watermark of 70s British rock, Bowie and Queen in particular. The lead single, which comes out as soon as late April or early May, sounds like it would be a smash in any decade. The fact that they're saying Harry's music is probably gonna sound like David Bowie or Queen, I believe that because Harry listens to those people and usually your influences come out in your own music. So it sounds like Harry's making music that fits the 70s era and stuff that would be popular during that time. But I'm sure whatever he makes, it's going to be pretty popular now. I mean, it's Harry Styles. We're going to buy his music. It might not all go on the radio, but you never know. Like for example, Bruno Mars, his sound is very retro, very 70s, 80s kind of. And that is played all over the radio and he is loved by a lot of teens. So I'm a firm believer that a singer doesn't need to produce like a bubblegum pop sound to be relevant or stay famous. I think it's cool when we get contemporary artists making retro sounding music, but having it still appeal to this generation. It's cool to keep old music alive still. There shouldn't be like an expiration date. And I think it's cool how someone like Harry from One Direction, like more pop music, can still make rock music stay alive. He won't have that stereotypical boy band image anymore.
No. 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 No.
Anyway, that's all the news I have for today. Anything else, I'll just put in my next video. But anyway, I make a new video whenever I want, so like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
My honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy umby umpkin, you're my sweetie pie.